A few simple tweaks can take your spreadsheet from looking amateur to professional. And you definitely want to take these steps to increase the influence of your work, especially before sharing with your boss or in a presentation. But before we get started, let me know in the comments, why are you trying to make your spreadsheet look more professional? Make sure to like and subscribe as well. Thank you so much. And let's get started right now. Today we're formatting this mortgage calculator here. And I actually have a video showing you how I created this mortgage calculator, which I'll link to in the description. Right now the data is bumped up against the column headers. So I'm gonna add a couple rows and columns to kind of let the data breathe. So I'm gonna right click here and press insert to insert a column. For rows, you can press Shift Spacebar to highlight the entire row, Control Shift plus to add a new row. And if I click here, I can see that this row height is 20 pixels. So I'm just gonna adjust the column width to be the same 20 pixels for consistency's sake. Next, we're missing a title. So I'll do Shift Spacebar again, Control Shift plus, and we're going to call this, the How-To Analyst Mortgage Calculator. Press Enter. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make it bold. And I'm going to increase the font size a little bit. And I'll highlight the cells that run across the spreadsheet and just give it a black bottom border. Whenever someone opens this workbook, they know exactly what they're looking at with the title. Moving down, we've got these little widgets here. This one calculates the payment. This one calculates the savings. So I'm going to highlight financing in the cell to the right, Control, and do the same with extra payment savings. Control 1 brings up the Format Cells menu. And under alignment, I'm just gonna do center across selection, center those headers across, and I'll make them bold as well. An easy win to clean up your spreadsheet and make it look better is to go up to View, uncheck grid lines, because those grid lines can distract from the data. But I do think there is room for grid lines to keep the spreadsheet in order. So I'm gonna highlight all of this data. I'm gonna go to Control 1, and I'm gonna go to Border. Now, I'm just going to pick a less distracting color. So I'm going to click on this gray here, and I'm going to give a top, a middle, and a bottom border, and click OK. And because we just did that, I can highlight these little widgets up here as well. Control to select this one, and press Control Y to redo what I just did, and apply the grid lines up there. Now, for these headers, I'm actually going to add a special grid line, pressing Control to highlight all of them. So I'm going to press Control 1, and I'm going to get rid of this bottom border for them. And under Font, I'm going to go to Underline, and I'm going to go to Single Accounting Underline and click OK. That's a great way to showcase the headers, but you really don't need these headers in the same color because headers can also distract from the meaningful data that you're displaying. So I will make them bold, but I'm going to go up here to the font color. I'm going to make them a subtle gray. For this number formatting, since these are all currencies, you might be tempted to go up here and click $. But when you've got 360 periods and just these repetitive $signs over and over, it gets a little bit redundant. So instead, I'm just going to denote across these headers that they're currency. So I'm going to press F2 to edit and just add in $signs across the top. And it's a little bit extra work, but what that allows you to do is highlight all of your data here. And just go up to comma style and reduce the number of decimal points. That way you don't have these redundant $signs all the way down your calculator. Now up top here, you don't have as many values listed, so you can get away with the currency up here. And I'm going to do comma style for the years and the months. Now if you're super detail oriented like me, you'll notice that this percentage is sticking out to the right a little bit more than all the other values. That's because these values, when you press Control 1, you go to the number and custom, so you'll see this underscore and parentheses, and that's adding just a little bit buffer to all these numbers. So let's go here to the percentage, Control 1, custom, and we're just going to add an underscore and a parentheses. That's going to add that little buffer and line it up with the rest of the numbers. It certainly makes me feel better, and I hope it does you as well. These column headers are getting a little bit crammed, so I'm going to right click here. Check out the width, it's almost 12. So I'm just going to highlight all these columns, right click, column width, and I'm just going to make them all 12. Again, to let that data breathe a little bit. This column H is superfluous, so I'll highlight that and press Control minus to get rid of it. Now, the way this calculator works is these are inputs that the user enters and it calculates the monthly payment and the savings accordingly. So to denote these as different from the outputs and all the formulas, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to give it this dark blue so the user knows this is different. And as it stands, when I scroll down, you lose the column headers. So I'm going to go here, go up to View, Freeze Panes. So now when you scroll down, column headers persist. So we went from this to this with some really simple formatting tweaks. And if you liked this video, check out this video that YouTube thinks you're also really going to enjoy. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.